Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Mindset. My name is Barry Overton, coming to you from Denver, Colorado. Excited about this Monday, and I think it's one of those things where, and I remember being in the workforce and, as a police officer and kind of dreading Mondays because I worked Monday through Friday. So I was like most people where, right around 6 p.m. Sunday night, the feelings of work is tomorrow would come on me. And I really kind of started to take, as an entrepreneur and when I became my own boss, so to speak, um, take a different look and thinking around Mondays. And it's really one of the most exciting days for me because of, everything is in front of us. It's just like mornings for me. Mornings are exciting because we got the whole day in front of us. And I always think about what's going to be, how am I going to look at the end of this day in regards to what I was able to achieve and the actions that I took. And that kind of leads us into the topic, for today. And that's, really if someone followed you around for a week, would it be crystal clear to them what your goals are? And I think that's, one of those things that we really have to ask that question of ourselves. And I think, again, when we're only, 4 months into this new year, but things start to change in regards to how we approach those goals, even as early as the second month of the year. And, we start out very excited about what the whole year has for us in front of us. And then there are distractions that happen. There are obstacles. There are setbacks, all these different things that kind of change, maybe how we approach our goals. But more importantly, there's this lack of consistency. See that January 1st, when we had all the goals that we put in front for ourselves, all the thoughts that we had of what we're going to achieve for the coming year, it's fresh and it's new and it's exciting in that first day, that first week, maybe the first month, but it's over time of not having necessarily the consistency of growing in the direction of your goals that we start to lose ourselves. We start to, find the distractions. And for me, one of those areas of staying accountability is taking this one statement. If someone was to follow me around for a week, would my goals be clear to them? Would they know exactly what it is that I'm trying to do? And so it's a personal, internal accountability that you're doing for yourself, really on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And so we're going to have some conversation, around that today. And, this isn't, again, about just writing down your goals and how you kind of take, that goal and achieve it. It's more so of, really diving deeper into the goal and what the daily action, the daily activity around that would be. So I want to talk about what I call the 4 month drift. It is one of those things of, how the goals fade over the course of time. And if you think about, again, like I said, when we start out the year, we start out very excited, but it's over the course of time that, the day in, day out of what we're doing, the routine can become a little mundane, become a little stale. And we're going to talk through the course of this of number one, how to keep it fresh, how to keep it new, how to stay, revisit those goals and kind of, I'm going to talk about the vision of, envisioning when you wrote those goals down the first time and reminding yourself of what it looks like at the end when you are living those goals and put yourself in that place. We have to revisit those places over and over again. I want you to think about, again, if there's a certain place that you like to go for vacation, or, that you're thinking about going for a vacation, and, you've done all the research on the front end and you're excited about it. You're excited about the trip that you're going to take. You've looked at all the different places you're going to stay, the restaurants you're going to visit, the tourist attractions that you're going to experience. And if it's been like 6 months, a year, and this is a big trip that you're planning, chances are you've kind of revisited over the course of time and got yourself excited about it again, where your goals are no different. It's a matter of, refreshing that thinking and that fire, getting that fire going again by revisiting those goals on a regular basis. And, with this 4 month drift, a lot of times what that is, again, it's not just overnight that all of a sudden, you're in tune to your goals. And then, the next day that you're not, it's a slow, decline over the course of time that fades in margins. And, one aspect of, a lot of times when we're focused on our goals, one of the things I always like to look at is, am I busy or am I productive? The fact of the matter is, we're all busy every day. We're all busy with something, but is that thing that we're busy with productive? Is it moving us closer to our goals? Because I can tell you, there are days where I'm busy with certain things that have nothing to do with my goals. They're things that have to be done. But I also have to look at, okay, but at the end of the day, did I do something? Even though I had these other things that kept me busy, did I do something to move, just a step closer towards my goals? So once again, it's a constant internal accountability that I'm taking for myself. And if I didn't, I get to the end of the day, honestly, if there's something that I could do in that moment to say, okay, I didn't get to do anything to get me closer to my goals. What calls can I make right now? Who can I reach out to right now to take a step, closer to that goal? So by doing so, it holds me accountable. It allows me to realize that, okay, while I had a busy day, it wasn't a productive day, and it wasn't in the area that I'm most want to be productive, because these are, part of the essential goals, for myself. And what I want to also touch on, I want to give you some strategies that I've started to use, 7 strategies that I've started to use to be able to create, number one, create the production, keep things very fresh for myself in regards to what it is that I'm experiencing today that gets me excited about the next day, the next week, the next month, in regards to it. So one of these key strategies, and this is one, I've always talked about the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and how we work, how our minds work uniformly in those areas. And when you have a good understanding of how the two work, you can really control we already control our subconscious mind. That is the mind that we're in right now, that gathers information and categorizes it and places it in the forefront or places it on the back burner based off of the importance of the information to what it is that we're trying to achieve. But it's that subconscious mind that never sleeps. It's that subconscious mind that we operate in even while we're sleeping. We dream from our subconscious mind. And there's a few different tools that I've started to use to be able to really control the subconscious thinking. And one of them, I've talked about it on several different podcasts before, of how my affirmations are something that I listen to in my sleep. Because of the fact that the subconscious mind never sleeps, I am feeding my affirmations to the subconscious mind constantly. But I just reconnected with one of my mentors from years ago, and he talked to me about how he created what he called a soundtrack of his affirmations. And what it was, he put a video on YouTube. And it was just for him. He didn't really share it. This video is like 7 years old. and he didn't really share it with anyone. He created it for himself so that he could listen to it and so that he could have it on loop when he sleep. But the unique part of it was my audio of myself was my voice speaking to me, which has a very strong power in the subconscious mind of, because the one voice that my subconscious mind is familiar with is me. It hears it all the time. And so when you're speaking to yourself, affirmations, eventually the subconscious mind believes those things and I speak them as though they have already happened. And so when you do that, the subconscious mind is in a place of where it's in the belief that you've already done these things, and it creates a behavior in you to go out and achieve those things. But what I liked about this soundtrack idea was the fact that he put one of his favorite songs to his affirmations. And then he also created visual effects. He created, he was talking about yachts. He was talking about private jets. He was talking about, restaurants and hotels and all the travel that he was going to do all over the world. And all of those were visually on the video. And so with that, I looked at it as, man, this is a digital vision board, in essence, what he's created. And it has more power than a vision board, because I have friends, I have, people that I've built out vision boards with, and 4 months, 6 months down the road, I go over to their house or I go to their office and I'll see the vision board over in the corner on the floor. And I was like, why is your vision board on the corner? Well, I never got around to putting it up. And, for me, it was one of those things of, okay, well, then it's not really serving its purpose. So I saw this idea of creating a digital vision board that you, again, can speak to the subconscious mind on a daily basis. And I created one. Mine is 5 minutes and 5 seconds long. It's a song by DMX. I basically did the instrumental on that song. I have 5 minutes and 5 seconds of me giving affirmations. It's about 36 different affirmations on that video. And I make it a point to play that at least once a day. I can be honest with you, it probably gets played 5 or 6 times a day, because when I take a walk in the morning, it's the first thing I listen to, and I say, okay, I'm going to get it in once. A lot of times it's on loop, so it just keeps playing until I stop walking. Every now and then I may change it to another song, but because of the song, the song is a song that I really enjoy. And the fact that it's me speaking over this song, it's easy to listen to it. Now, I can tell you that I don't always get the visuals in because I'm walking. But if I come back to my office, I may play it once where I'm actually just looking for 5 minutes, taking a break from everything else and just looking at the visuals that I put on there of all the things that I see for my future. So, this has been an excellent strategy for me. And if I go back, if I was to go back, say, because I've done affirmations for many years, and if I go back just 3 years of what I said I was going to be doing 3 years from now, many of those things have already come into play. Where I said I was going to be living, how I was going to be living, all those things have come into fruition. So I'm really excited about where this one is going to take me. But again, something to consider in regards to, creating a video and a digital affirmation for yourself. It's a powerful tool. And the key for me was that song aspect of it. Because I don't know about you, but if you're like me and you enjoy music, I can't tell you how much I enjoy music, and it moves me. There's a thing that music does to me. So combining it with my affirmations, that was like, wow, this is amazing. And never thought about it before until, like I said, I just reconnected with a mentor that shared it with me. And it was pure genius when I saw, what he did. And shortly thereafter, I created my own. So it's been a great tool for that. So that's the first one of 7. I'm not going to take quite as long on the other ones, but that was just something that has really had a huge impact on, really tapping into the subconscious mind for me. Number two, though, and this is one that I've done this on the real estate side, the production side of real estate for many years. And I think now I need to focus on doing it from an agent attraction standpoint. And this is something I'm going to have some conversations around. But it's really creating either an accountability partner or an accountability group that you have. Where on a weekly basis, you're meeting with someone that's holding your feet to the fire to the things that you said that you were going to do. I run an accountability group that we meet every Friday at 8 a.m. But I also am a part of a accountability partnership, again, with one of my mentors. And we meet every 2 weeks to kind of go over where my goals are, what in the last meeting that we had, what I said I was going to do, and did I achieve those things, or how close did I get to achieving those things? So I definitely stress the importance of this, because this is that one thing. This goes back to the question: if someone was to follow you for 7 days, would they have a clear understanding of what your goals are? And so again, you don't necessarily have someone that's following you. You have someone from a standpoint more so that you're holding accountable. This is obviously where honesty of, are you doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, are going to come into play. But again, it's the next best thing to having someone that's just following you, following you around, for 7 days. And we're more likely to follow through when we're observed, when we're held accountable by someone. And that shared commitment really increases our consistency when you're locking arms with someone, because again, you're going to be holding them accountable as well, for what it is that they're trying to do. So it's a partnership, of where you're trying to get to. And that peer success, when you see other people, I think I could tell you the group that meets on Friday that I meet with, when we're sharing our wins of what's going on in our business on a weekly basis, you can see other people, not necessarily envious of the success of someone else, but inspired by the success of someone else. And over the course of a week or a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, you start to see that person's business grow as well, because they're inspired by the group that they're in. And that's really where, that accountability is going to come into play and help everyone that's a part of the group to just become better. Another thing, so number 3 is a weekly vision revisit. So this is, again, where you're going back, taking a look, taking inventory. If you're, whether you're in an accountability group or not, this step, I think, if you're in an accountability group and then you're also doing this for this yourself, this is self-accountability. This is internalization. Just taking 10 or 15 minutes, say on the weekend, to revisit, your production, your activity for the week, and finding out where the wins are, what worked, what's different that I haven't done before that seems to be gaining some traction, what didn't work, where were my shortcomings, where were my failures at, what can I do, what lessons can I learn from the failures to be able to get better and retweak those things. So realigning yourself every week, and taking it again as a lesson and not getting caught up. I think far too often from the word failure, we look at, if we have failures, that again, a lot of times it causes us to stop. But many of you have probably heard me talk about, when you go to the gym, your whole goal in the gym is to take your muscles to muscle failure. That's where the victory is happening, is by by depleting your muscles to the point of where there's muscle failure. And what happens over the course of time is they grow. And when they grow stronger. So it's the exact same thing that how you approach your goals is embrace the failure, because what it's telling you is, okay, I just learned a way of not doing this thing that I'm trying to do to be more productive. So what do I need to do to tweak that thing? Okay. And then number 4 is the identity based habits. This is really where you're looking at the person you're becoming, and not, again, looking at yourself as a failure and saying, for instance, when you're looking at a week where maybe the production was not successful, where it moved you up the ladder and maybe set you back. And instead of, am I closer to my goals? Even in those moments of where it sets you back, if you take lessons from it, then you can say, yes, I am closer, because now I know what areas not to what things not to do, what areas not to tap into. And instead of looking at it from a statement of, I need to make more sales, or I failed this week, taking, the identity of who you want to become and seeing yourself, becoming closer to it. This one I could spend a whole lot of time on, but we're going to just spend a short period of time on it. But it's about blocking your time. And blocking your time like a CEO, during business hours of, if you're working 8 to 5, 9 to 3, 10 to 2, whatever it is, whatever your hours are that you're set for, working, make sure that those are productive meetings that you're having throughout the course of that time, and blocking that time. Make sure that if a certain 30 minutes or an hour needs to be for calls, that you're committed to locking that time in. I do a whole, training that I've done in regards to time blocking, and using the Pomodoro technique of using a clock to stay consistent of what you're doing for, a 20-minute time frame, and just, staying laser focused on that thing, and then starting, taking a 5-minute break, and then starting over and doing another 20 minutes. But again, it becomes very important that you're, making sure the one thing that we can never get back is time. So we have to make sure that how we use it, we're being productive in the set time that we're creating for it. There's always time, we create time for leisure, we create time for rest, we create time for family, but it's when you're in those time frames of when a production that you are truly committed, to those areas. And then triggers and anchors. This is one I'm actually just kind of learning about, but when I started deep diving more into it, of using triggers and anchors, it really resonated with me. And for instance, with triggers, it's going to be more of those things for you that is something that prompts a behavior or a thought. It's a cue in your environment that signals your brain to do something. So I want you to think about, for instance, when you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you go down, a lot of times, when you have a trigger of, let's say you're a coffee drinker, you instantly, feel more alert. When you're starting to make your coffee, you're instantly more alert, because you're excited for, getting your coffee, and that this caffeine kicking in is going to energize you, and you start to crave, you almost have that mouth-watering effect, because this is something that you desire. And it's just, from, getting the smell of coffee. You think about it when your cell phone, if you have the audio on where a text rings, you get a text message. The instant thing that we do is we check our phones. So it's creating those same types of triggers in your production aspect of things. I can tell you one thing, I didn't even realize this was a trigger for me, but it's just something that I've done for years. And I I created a behavior around it, and now it's just become a habit or a trigger that I do all the time. I've always looked at when I'm in the car, I want to be productive because I'm driving from point A to point B. And I've often thought if I'm just listening to music, man, I could be doing so much more. And so many times when I'm driving in the car, I have a list of people that I want to call, that I want to talk to. And I know that, okay, I got a 20-minute drive. I can probably get maybe 3 calls, definitely 2 calls in if both of them answer. Um, but then I got a 20-minute drive back from wherever I'm going back home. So I know that I'm going to be able to get more calls in during that time. But for me, that is so much of a trigger that if I don't do it, it feels weird. If I'm not in the car and I'm not making calls to someone, it's it's off. I'm off of what I normally do because it's just become that trigger. It's become that thing of when just like the cell phone, ringing with the text message and me naturally looking at it. It's the same thing when I'm in a car. So finding those triggers for yourself that you can make more so a productive trigger for your business. And then with the anchor. So the anchor, as defined, is links a physical action or external stimulus with an internal emotional state. It's like saving a mental shortcut for feeling what you want to access again. And the best way I can describe it is, when I talked a few minutes ago about certain songs that I hear, that can be an anchor for me. When I hear a certain song, it instantly picks me up. It instantly makes me feel, more powerful. I can tell you the song that I have on my affirmations, when I'm walking faster than normal. I've got to the point now, I got torn meniscus on both knees. Doctors had told me you shouldn't be running. I started running again because I wasn't moving fast enough with the speed walking. And honestly, speed walking, you kind of you get to a certain speed, you start to look kind of like a nerd trying to walk too fast. So I just started jogging, with it. And it's one of those things of the music is doing that for me. So music has definitely been, an anchor, and certain songs, do that for me. There are specific phrases or gestures that we can do. Tiger Woods, is known for the fist and when he would hit a hole, and it was his thing. And you can see that was an anchor for him. It's not just something for him to do. It was an anchor of, success, and it pumped him up in that regard. So you got to find those things. Same way when you're in a place of creating consistent production for yourself. What is it going to be that anchor for you? It could be a phrase. It could just be "let's go," whatever the case may be. Some of you have heard me, greatness, the word greatness. You've heard me talk about when I go on a stage, I yell greatness. And the reason for that, it sets the tone for me internally. I'm doing something to project it out to the audience, but it's really for me. It's really to set the tone of the next 30 minutes or whatever it is, however long that I'm speaking, to be able to bring it up a notch, because again, when you're going onto the stage, and you're getting into, your speech or whatever it is that you're sharing, for me, if I'm not pumped, then it starts out flat. If I'm pumped, I bring it up all, at the very beginning. So that, those are all anchors. And so you have to find your anchors for what it is that you're trying to focus on for the productivity piece. So again, those are the 7 areas. Oh, last one, and we'll cut this short. But find that metric, that one metric that moves the needle for you. So this is where, again, a lot of times they're doing social media, for their production. A lot of times people are making calls, maybe sending emails. I think it's important to do all of these things, and you're going to find some of them work better than others. But I think it's important that all of them work. So why not use all of them? And then you find the areas, with emails and email campaigns and texting campaigns. Honestly, you can set those on autopilot. And then you're just in a response mode of when they're going. I think a key, while I see a lot of people using social media and being very successful with social media, I use social media, but I wouldn't consider myself necessarily successful. I do get leads. I do have conversations. I do build business from it. But honestly, my best attribute is just getting on the phone and having those conversations with people versus, doing the social media. But again, I understand, that it has its place. So I don't just abandon it totally, but I focus on the one that gives me the best return on my time as well. So hopefully those 7 areas will help you again as we're talking about the consistency, because that's what it really comes down to, is when someone is watching you and they see what you're doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and they can say, yes, I see what your goals are. These 7 steps will hopefully be able to help you to attain those and continue to grow. So thanks everyone for being here. You guys have a great rest of your Monday, and talk to you soon. Take care.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.